heard from Holland that some farmer was arrested and put in prison for more than 5 months without a trial. 5 months pre-trial, thrown in prison, 5 months. Well, that's happened in Canada. A trucker organizer named Pat King. I have my beefs with Pat King, but 5 months in prison without a trial? Or how about a friendly grandma, completely peaceful, nearly a month in jail already, the latest spate, for taking a selfie with a political critic of the government? Well, that is what we're talking about today, because Tamara Lich is in a prison in Ottawa tonight, waiting till tomorrow afternoon to hear the results on her bail hearing, even though the bail hearing happened, I think it was on Tuesday. It was a full-day bail hearing on Tuesday. The judge was there, the Justice of the Peace as it's called. He listened, and he said, well, I don't need an hour to think about this, which would have been fair. He didn't say I need to think about it overnight, or 2 nights, or 3 nights. He said he needed all the way to Friday afternoon. He didn't give a reason. Did he have something more pressing? Did he have a golf game or something? Did he have a dental appointment? Why was it that he couldn't decide and give a quick oral ruling and then later come up with a written ruling? Why did he have the hearing on Tuesday and yet make Tamara Lich sit in jail Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday until 1:30? It's a good question, I think. The judge in this case was actually not a judge, not even a lawyer. He's a justice of the peace. His name is Paul Max Harris. And he's not a lawyer. His official biography says he has worked for the federal government for 16 years. He managed procurement policy and reporting at Parks Canada. Now, I do not disparage procurement and other works at Parks Canada. I like parks and I like Canada. But he's not a lawyer. And he was dealing with technical legal matters. And while he waited, I don't know, to Google the law, I don't know what he was doing for 3 days, a woman rotted in jail. Does he really need 3 days to think about it? There is no bail case so complicated that you need 3 days to think about it. An hour, maybe. Probably in real time. Is there any accused murderer who even needs 3 days of cogitation? Wouldn't you think that for a highly political case where a woman was dragged all the way across the country because she was posing in this photograph was all the evidence that she should be jailed, don't you think maybe they should have put a judge in? Or someone with more experience than just working for Parks Canada, someone who needs 3 days to think about things and thinks nothing of having someone, like, wouldn't that be on your conscience? How could you sleep at night knowing that because you're so indecisive or don't know what you're doing or you just like to take your sweet time, someone's in prison? Again, not because you ruled that they should be in prison, but just because you're so bloody slow. So why was that person in charge of this bail hearing? You could have had anyone. You could have a judge. You could have a lawyer who was a justice of the peace. Why that person? And why, of all the prosecutors in Ottawa, a city of 1 million people, why the prosecutor that they chose, a prosecutor who, according to research from our friends at True North, personally donated $17,000 to the Liberal Party of Canada? I mean, $1,700 is an enormous donation. $17,000? And it came out in the hearing that the cop issued a national warrant. That's the kind of thing, as you know, that you do for murderers or runaways or like extreme national alerts, not for some tweet picture of a selfie. And we learned from the hearing that the cop who did that did not seek a legal opinion. Of course, police forces have lawyers that they can access, the Justice Department, get an opinion from a prosecutor. If there's some iffy area, a cop is not expected to be a lawyer. A cop's a cop. A lawyer's a lawyer. If a cop has questions, he can ask a lawyer. And in this case, that selfie was published on June 16th. She wasn't arrested till much later. That cop had weeks to put the question to a lawyer and say, hey, does this pass muster? Hey, do you think we should issue a national warrant? Hey, do you think we should do that? The cop didn't seek legal advice. He just ordered him. And the cop who was on trial, sorry, not on trial, the cop who was in the witness stand giving his evidence to this non-lawyer at the leading questions of the liberal prosecutor, admitted he had no idea who the other people in the room were. He had no idea who Tamara Lich's lawyers were. He knew nothing about the event, all of which was relevant because her bail conditions clearly said that if she was with her lawyer, she could talk to other truckers. So you have a non-lawyer justice of the peace who takes days and days to make a decision that should take an hour. You have a radical liberal. I say radical. I've never heard of anyone donating $17,000 to the Liberal Party. Have you? Never. You have a cop with a complex matter who doesn't bother looking at the facts and orders a national warrant without legal advice. And bizarrely and grotesquely, the Medicine Hat police comply like they're under orders. Not a real judge, liberal prosecutor, lone cop, the thinnest of pretexts. And as I talk to you this Thursday night, Tamara Lich is in prison. In Canada, terrorists get bail. Accused terrorists get bail. You know, it's funny, as Sheila mentioned the other day, the cops on this case were from the homicide squad. That's who they put on Tamara Lich's case. Let me tell you what I think. I think this justice of the peace, who's clearly obedient to the government, that's all he knows, that's all he's worked for. He's a creature of Ottawa. He's not a lawyer. He doesn't know the law. I think he's going to keep Tamara Lich in prison. That's my guess. But even if he doesn't, it's outrageous that he kept her 3 extra days before deciding. What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.